what I really wanted to talk about was there's good news if you want to be travel journalists, there's bad news, and there's really, really bad news. Okay? The good news is, with social media and the internet, it's really easy to, and with the amount of cameras that are available now, for example, even your iPhone has a fantastic one. It's very easy to be a travel journalist. You can go somewhere, record it, you can put it up in seconds. It's very easy to get people to talk about you, get people to notice you. Not a problem. And just you can go and have a good time and try and earn some money on the side. That's the good news. The bad news is it's extremely difficult to become a good travel writer. Okay, or travel journalist. Because I'm going to be talking a little bit about photography as well. Okay, I don't want someone who goes on holiday and has a good time and they said, oh I had a good time, this hotel was great, this was bad. I need some thought behind it. Okay, if that just means that the article makes you want to go to some place and someone in that place earns a bit of money from you, or from the reader, that is what I need from an article. Do you understand this bit? Please be very, very clear. Because when I was a budding journalist, I came in with these really happy ideas. Okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to write these really truthful, wonderful articles. No one's going to corrupt me, and it's very difficult. You can keep your standards as high as possible, and I hope you do. But there will be times when you have to just understand that you are part of a bigger thing here. You're not just writing in your own little vacuum for yourself. So now, and how we plan the stories is also it's a very ad hoc sort of process. I believe, very intelligent people in my team. So I try and let them come up with as many ideas as they want. They may be some completely insane ones. There are people who from the day that they have joined the magazine, I want to go to Antarctica. Okay, difficult. So when that happens, we will do it. But then you may also have some more sensible idea. Why don't we do a food story in Italy? Why don't we do a story on budget travel in Vietnam? Okay, so that's great. They connect with women. So one is going to go in September, one is going to go in April. I start to get the feel of that. I can't spend 3 days lounging by the poolside. I have to go to various landmarks. We have to get up at dawn to get the kind of light we need. So I need to know where my team is going to be. So we have to plan all that out, sometimes to the minute, where things are going to be. People cannot miss trains, they can't just go wandering around. So all that has to be very clearly laid out. Yeah. And once we know where that thing, where the story needs to go, we talk to travel agents. We try and get all that planned out. And sometimes it can just be really amazing things that go wrong. We've had stories where we've been planning something. The last time we wanted to plan a full story in Italy, the volcano in Iceland erupted. Okay, so I knew that I was not going to go there, but I had a team in Belgium which was stuck for 14 days eating cheese and bread. Because we couldn't get them out. They didn't have money. It was very difficult to transfer money to them. So they were just sitting in a hotel in the airport in Brussels, going to the airport every 3 hours and trying to see whether they could get out. Things like that happen. So as a travel journalist, be prepared for really, really bad things to happen. I'm not interested. I want a writer. I'm not looking for an accountant or. So I need your English to be spot on. And then a lot of people think that you need degrees and qualifications and whatnot. I don't. Honestly, with journalism of this type, it's all on gut feel. If I think you're capable, I will make you capable. If I think you're not capable, no matter what degrees you have, no matter what experience you've had somewhere else, you're not going to be of any interest to me. Okay, I'm sorry that it's such a human thing and there's no real system to it, but that is how it works. The other, again, not particularly pleasant aspect of how these things work is if you are recommended by someone that I know and trust, I will at least read your email. I may not give you a job, but I will read your email. Okay? So if you know someone in the industry, helps. If you know someone, if you know someone who can write well and can send an email on your behalf, helps. I may employ that person instead of you, but at least you get a good box of cookies at the end of it. Now, typically I will really want a sample piece. So from now, if you want to be a writer, start writing. Okay? Start writing whatever, just go out somewhere, go out around Bombay. Bombay has fantastic things for a travel writer. If you can give me a good travel story in Bombay, I will think of you as a serious prospect. Okay? Go around, look around, and try and give me something coherent at the end of it. Okay? What do I mean by coherent? I mean a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Very simple thing that you learned in English class, but everybody forgets this. Okay? And now, so what do I mean by beginning? Is that you come, suppose I'm going to send you somewhere, you have an idea of a place in your mind, right? You have someone has told you that this place is like this, or you've read it, or you've seen it on TV, then you think, okay, the place is this sort of place. Now I want you to go there, I want you to form your own opinions. Hopefully the place is actually very different from what you've been told, and that is where your story comes in. Okay? Because it's your journey that I want to see. I don't want to just see what's there to do in a place, and I can find that out very easily. And that's what guidebooks are for. If you want to be a travel magazine journalist, you have to do more than just list information and train timings and hotel prices. Okay? You have to tell me what you saw, what you felt, how you changed as a person, and where you ended. Because if that to me is a story, I need to see you changing, I need to see your perception changing, and as a reader, I want to be kind of humble. I want to see, oh my God, what I saw was wrong. Oh, I thought this place was uninteresting or mildly interesting, and oh my God, I want to go there now. Liking travel is not enough. You have to be able to tell people what you saw there, why it was interesting, why they should go there. You have to be able to convince people, And very often people are, they stay in their own little box. These are the places I like, I will go here. This is not going to help you as a writer. If people are going to just stay in their box, no one's going to read it because they've already read all that they need to know. You need to convince them that there's more out there. You need to convince them that you are someone worth reading for more information, for ideas, for inspiration. Okay? And that doesn't come from your personal passion, that comes from your ability to talk about your passion, to talk about what you have seen and to make it exciting. Right? And by excitement, I don't mean you have to say everything is positive, everything is awesome, and everything is all rosy. You have to show the ability to examine things. There will be some negatives. Talk about the negatives as well. It's really important so that I know that you've actually gone and seen things, that you've actually been thinking about them. Alright? You need to obviously the basic gist is go here. But I need to see that there's been an intelligent person who's gone through this whole, who has looked at things, who has dug under the skin of what is there. I'm not just talking about the hotel was pretty. From this hotel used to be something else earlier, and this hotel is important because it's supporting a local economy that was otherwise devastated. You understand? There's a deeper thing to travel journalism than just telling people that this is a good place to go for a holiday. Is start reading, in any field, start reading what other people have written before you. You're entertaining people but informing them at the same time. So read him, find out the names of other travel writers, read those things, because otherwise you will be operating again in a little bit of a void of your own. You'll think, oh my God, what I've written is so awesome, but it's only when you compare it to a professional will you understand that okay, I still need to brush up in these areas. This is the sort of thing that gets me published and not writing about hamburgers. So figure out for yourself what is going to get you noticed. Remember that it is you. There's no textbook for this. You're going to have to figure this out on your own. It's a difficult journey. You will go through a lot of time when you're talking to people after they will just, I'm sorry, I don't have time. Or they say, okay, this is good, but come back to me in 6 months when you've written 10 more articles. it happens, I have to do it. And it is unavoidable because I don't have, contrary to what a lot of people seem to think, I don't have unlimited funds, the story that I sent you out on. One of the ways you can do this is start reading, in any field, start reading what other people have written before you. A good person to read is Bill Bryson. Okay? Because he, to me, to my mind, one of the most interesting writers, because you laugh throughout his books. At the end, you realize how much you've learned. That to me is a very effective way of communicating.